Well, my wife and I were not sure that the journey was going to survive. And we didn't dream that God would give us leaders and resources to help start churches literally all over the world. But look what God has done.
My wife Ashley and I were at the journey from 2004 to 2009. In fact, our oldest two daughters were born in St. Louis. Cora and Nola are both St. Louisans. I had a great job. We loved our church. We loved the city. And I just knew that God was calling me ahead without knowing what was on the other side. It was very painful. It was very scary. And I was very insecure. I just knew that God was calling me away from what was safe into unknown, uncharted waters. Initially, we had no idea that we were going to plant in Memphis. In fact, I wanted New York, Chicago, San Francisco. But God was showing us that we were called to love the city right in front of us. As Mississippians, as Southerners, we always had loved Memphis from afar, and now it seemed like God was calling us to invest our very lives there. And we moved here to start a church with no one else, parachuted in. And I remember sitting in the parking lot at Minglewood Hall, one of the big concert venues, and imagining what would it be like for a group of people to meet and gather and worship Jesus here. And I started to pray, God, open up Minglewood Hall for us. And it seemed like, despite all the churches in Memphis, that there was still room for a church here in Midtown that would be committed to both proclaiming grace and working for renewal. Now, Memphis is known for its radical diversity and its sharp divisions along racial lines. Initially, I moved here to plant a church for people just like me, urban hipsters that listen to Radiohead. But what I've had to come to realize is that God is calling me to the margins, and God is calling me to love and minister to people that are not like me. Because of God's faithfulness and the support, encouragement, and generosity of the journey, 3 years later, we are a worshiping congregation of over 350 people. In the past 3 years, we have baptized over 40 people, and we are gathering in little neighborhood congregations called parishes, a group of people that are committed to loving and serving their neighbors well. Memphis, slowly, by the grace of God, is being changed. God is up to something significant in this city.
By God's grace and your generosity, the journey has grown from 30 people in a South City basement to 6 churches across 2 states and beyond. Friends, your generosity matters, not just through the journey, but also through the churches that the journey has given people and money and buildings and training. In the past few years, we have partnered, planted, and supported 8 other churches, from Redeemer to Christ Church, the church at Bevo, Refuge, Mercy View, Trailhead, Crosspoint, Heritage Church, and the Compassion Church of Christ. And our partnership with Acts 29 has given us the opportunity to support 400 more churches in 16 countries across 6 continents, with 250,000 people meeting each week to worship. It's unbelievable that God has allowed us to be a part of reaching the world with the good news of the gospel through the local church. Your generosity matters.